So I start using the invigorating tool on the top of my feet to start stimulating some blood flow into the area. And this is a fantastic tool to begin with if you have very sensitive feet like I do. I am super ticklish. I've attempted numerous times with the face blaster and I just can't. I just have so much sensory input coming in that I can never really get to treat my feet in depth. So with the OMG Blaster, I get to do just that. So I start with the invigorating tool to get my treatment started, working the bottom and the top of my feet. So then I switch the attachment over to the one claw tool. Now this little guy really works into the ankle, the malleoli joints, into and in between the tendons of my toes, the muscle in between my toes, the little tiny intrinsic muscles of the toes, and it just really gets into that area. This is not too much of a sensory overload for me. I can handle this. I work right into the heel, the Achilles tendon, right into the arch here. And then this really gives me the ability to work the plantar fascia of my foot. And then just to give you guys more of a different perspective on how I treat the bottom of my feet. Here you go. And then I switch over to the bunny ear tool, the bunny ear attachment. Now this little guy really gets into the the base of my toes, and then really works the plantar fascia for me. This is where I add a little bit of mobilization into my treatment so I can help open up that fascia and lengthen it and stretch it, and then really work into that area with detail. Same thing over here. I'm working in between my toes using the fine line eraser tool, the bunny ears, just working between the toes, the tendons. And if I feel any tightness, then I'll kind of stay there for a few minutes until it relaxes. And here I'm using the nugget tip attachment. Now this guy really gets into each and in between my toes with detail. I'm working right in between the intrinsic muscles there of my feet and just work on it, bringing in some attention, some awareness into that area. And if I feel any tightness, again, I'll stay in there for a few minutes until it relaxes. For some of us, this could be a little bit of sensory overload with the nugget tip, but weirdly enough for me, I can actually handle this at the bottom of my foot. But I work the base of the toes into the ball foot, and then I give my plantar fascia a little bit of a stretch to get the feel for the state that it's in. If I feel like it's a little sticky or adhesed, then I'll work the tissue a little bit more with the nugget, and then I'll continue following into the arch, around the heel, into the Achilles tendon here. And then I'll give a little bit of attention to the medial malleolus, that little bone that sticks out here in our ankles. And then I'll go back into the Achilles tendon where it attaches into the heel, and just to see if I can scan for any tightness or any adhesions or even any discomfort or tenderness. And then here I'll use the Whatcha tool to just push the blood back up into those lymph nodes. And I'll use the Whatcha tool for the bottom of my foot. It feels really, really good. And if I need to work into that plantar fascia a little bit, using it like a blading tool, I will do that as well. Add a little bit of a stretch. And then I just flush, going up, up towards the lymph nodes, into our popliteal fossa, which is behind the knee, the lymph nodes behind the knee. And then I just stretch my toes. Voila.